They met, and it was a disaster. The meeting between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House turned into a major scandal. The words spoken shocked even experienced politicians. Does this mean the end of U.S. support for Ukraine? What consequences will this have for international politics? Let's break it down. The meeting between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House became one of the most high-profile political events of the year. It was supposed to be a routine diplomatic discussion, but instead of negotiations, it turned into a heated conflict broadcasted live, one that could reshape the future not only of Ukraine but of the entire world. Trump and Zelensky didn't just fail to reach an agreement, they engaged in a verbal battle that the entire world witnessed. Donald Trump returned to the White House after winning the 2024 election. His key campaign message was clear: America will no longer spend billions on other countries for free. His administration aims to reshape relationships with all partners, including Ukraine. Zelensky, on the other hand, expected U.S. support to remain unchanged. He arrived in Washington with a critical mission: to convince the newly re-elected president of the necessity of continued military and economic aid. But from the very start of the talks, it became clear that their visions of the future were drastically different. The conversation started calmly. They discussed the future of their relations, opportunities for cooperation, and new formats of support for Ukraine. But then, Trump made a statement that changed everything. He made it clear that U.S. assistance could not be one-sided. America wanted something in return from Ukraine, and not just reforms, but tangible economic benefits. One of the key points was a proposal regarding Ukraine's natural resources, rare earth metals, oil, and gas. Washington was considering a joint fund that would control these resources. But Zelensky immediately gave a firm response: Ukraine would not trade its sovereignty. He stated bluntly, "Ukraine is not a colony. We are grateful for your help, but we will not sell our country." This was the breaking point. Trump's tone shifted, and he began interrupting. The tension in the room escalated. And then, a phrase was spoken that has since made headlines across global media. Trump declared, "You are playing with fire. You could start World War III." Zelensky didn't back down: "We will not allow anyone to dictate terms to us. If the U.S. no longer wants to be our ally, just say it outright." The atmosphere reached its peak tension. This was no longer a diplomatic meeting, it was a showdown between two leaders with fundamentally different views. And then came Trump's shocking announcement after the meeting: he was withdrawing part of the military aid to Ukraine. This means that future arms shipments could be suspended, which could significantly shift the balance of power in the war. Europe responded immediately. The leaders of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom expressed their support for Ukraine, stating that they would not allow Kiev to stand alone against its enemy. Meanwhile, reactions within the U.S. were mixed. Democrats accused Trump of abandoning allies, while Republicans supported his tough stance, arguing that America should act in its own interests. What happens next? Will Zelensky be able to convince the world to continue supporting Ukraine if the U.S. truly cuts aid? Or is this just another political maneuver by Trump to negotiate better terms for the U.S.? This meeting has already become historic. But the biggest question remains unanswered: how will it affect the course of the war and the future of Ukraine? Who holds the truth, and where does the future of the world lie? Share your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. This is just the beginning of even bigger events.